How will artificial intelligence, AI, how will artificial intelligence change the stock market? And how has it already changed the stock market? Artificial intelligence, it has a lot of excellent use cases. Generative artificial intelligence for creating photos, videos, copy for whatever use case. Copy also a fancy news media's way of saying text. It's really powerful. However, due to the powerful nature of artificial intelligence, it's already changed and will continue to change the stock market as we know it. Historically, the stock market required one to either mail or physically drive to what was referred to as a stockbroker. Then they could hand the stockbroker a check, a paper check, and then they could ask the stockbroker to place a trade, buy a stock, sell a stock. That was a long time ago. Then online brokers started to emerge, and most everyone that was eligible to sign up for an online brokerage account was able to do so. So at that point, there was no longer the need to drive to that stockbroker's brick and mortar office. There was no longer the need to hand a paper check to that stockbroker in their brick and mortar office. Now it was online. So the emergence of online brokerages changed the way the stocks trade. There were a lot more rapid executions because people were in front of their computer, and a lot of people have access to what's called market depth, level 2, L2 quotes. And by leveraging those tools, a standard individual, not part of a hedge fund, not potentially not someone with a background in finance, but they're able to very thoroughly analyze the stock or stocks, and they don't have to depend upon others at that point as much. So it was more rapid execution of trades, more people became involved with the stock market, and whereas in the past, stock prices may fluctuate somewhat, day to day, but then due to the emergence of online brokerages, trades were more rapid, so there were more rapid swings in price per share of stocks. Now fast forward to artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence has already started to do this, and you may not have realized it. So think about large financial institutions, hedge funds. Hedge funds typically, they have a large budget. Not only do they have a large budget to buy stocks, but they also have a lot of people working for them. Some of those people are analyzing market conditions. So most hedge funds have a team of individuals that are looking at specific stocks and trying to predict where that stock's price may be heading. And just because they think that it may be heading down doesn't mean that's a bad thing, because hedge funds will often short stocks, meaning that when they short a stock, their expectation, their hope is that the price per share goes down. And if they're shorting the stock, if the price per share goes down, they hope to make money. And then, the reverse is also there too. If a hedge fund is going after a stock and they hope that the price per share appreciates, well, if they're not shorting it and it does appreciate, then hopefully that's a good thing for the hedge fund. Now, hedge funds often had an advantage prior to artificial intelligence because hedge funds had the budget, they had the staff, so they had an advantage over let's say your Jane or Joe day trader that's sitting at home behind a computer with level 2 quotes. Because the hedge fund probably had a much greater budget, the hedge fund probably had a lot more resources being people as well, analyzing the market conditions. So the hedge fund, during the emergence of online brokerages, the hedge funds almost always had an advantage. Now, that's not to say there weren't brilliant day traders that were at times able to outsmart a hedge fund. I mean, that's happened. But now you've got artificial intelligence. And what a lot of people don't realize about artificial intelligence, and this commentary is centered around artificial intelligence in the stock market. But what a lot of people may not realize about artificial intelligence is that it is going to do more. It's going to change, and already is changing, the stock market more than the emergence and mass adoption of online brokerages did. And why is that the case? Well, now you've got a tool that's powered by enormous data centers and, in essence, artificial intelligence, AI. I can't stand the buzzword AI because you hear it all the time. People that don't even understand what artificial intelligence is, they'll say AI, 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 bro. You know, trying to high note themselves, sound like they know something. Anyway, I just had to insert that rant here. But with artificial intelligence, with the stock market, now you've got access, and this could be individuals with disposable income. This could be hedge funds with a lot more disposable income. But you've got access to these data centers that can do this. So and all of this is hypothetical. I'm going to put in some fictitious ticker symbols or whatever. But let's say that there's a stock, and let's say I'm not even going to insert a fictitious ticker symbol. You can put a ticker symbol in your head. But this fictitious stock allegedly is about to unveil just a huge material event. Okay, let's say it was some sort of technology stock, and they're releasing a new product. Let's say it's even better than the iPhone was when the iPhone came out. Well, day traders, people at home with their online brokerages, hedge funds, everyone is trying to be alerted when that news hits first. Well, in the case of artificial intelligence, you've got enormous data centers not only scanning the news, so they're scanning the news, not only scanning companies' filings, because if you're not too familiar with stocks report and you can view those filings. So as soon as a filing drops, the people that see it first, they know, okay, well, do I want to buy? Do I want to sell? So you've got artificial intelligence now that is proactively monitoring the release of filings. You've got artificial intelligence that is proactively monitoring the news. You've got artificial intelligence that is proactively monitoring content on the company's website, related websites in the industry. You've got artificial intelligence that is monitoring chatter on popular social media networks, X, Twitter, Pinterest, Facebook, YouTube. I mean, the list goes on. So you've got artificial intelligence that is constantly monitoring. It's non-human. It's multiple large data centers. So artificial intelligence is going to have the advantage. When and if some sort of news or alleged news surfaces, artificial intelligence is probably going to see that first. And that's why one of the reasons why artificial intelligence is going to change the way that the market works. So in the past, again, hedge funds typically had an advantage because they had more resources, more money, more people. But when people at home gained access to online brokerages, they were able to execute trades more quickly. But now you've got a non-human entity that is living in multiple enormous data centers. Standard day traders can't compete with that. Hedge funds can't compete with that. So it's going to disrupt the stock market. It already is starting to do so, but it's going to change the way that institutions and individuals trade. Because ultimately now, institutions and individuals are at a disadvantage, or are they? So see, this is where the twisted part comes into play. So the people, or the institutions, I shouldn't say people, there are some people, but primarily institutions, with the greatest disposable income, they're going to leverage these artificial intelligence tool sets. They're going to leverage these AI tool sets to attempt to give themselves an advantage over the other institutions and an advantage over the multiple people that are day trading. But it's really shaking things up, and it's making people's own research, not just people, but institutions like hedge funds, it's making the time invested in that traditional stock research, looking for filings, reading the forums, reading the company's website, reading related companies' websites, watching the news for clues that might suggest where a stock might be headed. It's going to change all of that because that's no longer relevant. Why waste the energy? Why waste the time as an individual or a hedge fund? Why waste the time? Time is money when a tool like artificial intelligence can be utilized instead. So it's really taking the hands-on aspect out of the stock market for most people and for most financial institutions. And I don't think that's a good thing. And I do believe, and again, this video is for entertainment purposes only. It should not be considered a recommendation to buy or sell security. I'm sharing this video and all of my videos for entertainment purposes only. But it also signals the recent surge of people and institutions that it seems that they're shifting into tangible assets such as precious metals, silver, gold, platinum, palladium, even copper, a base metal. I mean, it's changing things because people still, not just people, but institutions also, there's a large camp of people and institutions that still want a heightened level of control. And to be able to possess and retain that heightened level of control, tangibility comes into play. If it's not in one's hands or in an institution's hands, it's not tangible, it's virtual, it's digital. And curiously enough, if you look at, say, cryptocurrency, and I'll drop, everybody probably knows what Bitcoin is. If they don't, they probably heard of it. You noticed that the rapid surge of Bitcoin, I forget how high it went. It went to 115,000 or so a coin, I know, maybe even higher. I'd have to look at the historical chart. But a lot of that run up, a lot of the initial Bitcoin run up was prior to the artificial intelligence has been around for a while. But let's just say that a lot of the run up of cryptocurrencies was prior to the mass acknowledgement that artificial intelligence is here, and it's here to stay, and it's here to grow. So you saw a lot of the cryptos going up, and now that artificial intelligence is becoming even more intelligent, you're starting to see those digital currencies, there's a pullback there as well as within the traditional stock market. And then also with that, concurrently, you're seeing an enhanced focus upon precious metals, tangible assets. So artificial intelligence has already changed the stock market, and artificial intelligence, it's still in its infancy. It's going to continue to evolve. And unfortunately, the stock market is not the only thing that artificial intelligence is going to disrupt. And I'm not saying artificial intelligence is a bad thing, but what I'm saying, the traditional school of thought for this video centered around the stock market, the traditional school of thought for an individual investor, or the traditional school of thought for an institutional investor like a hedge fund, that mindset's going to change. The day-to-day trading methodologies are going to have to change. Now, you probably know a lot more than I do. I mean, potentially you're at some sort of snooty Ivy League university and you're watching this video and you're like, who is this guy? This guy's pretty intelligent, but he's got a funny accent. I bet he's from the Appalachian Ocean. That's right, I am from the Appalachian Ocean. And I'm sure y'all are a lot more intelligent than I am, and that's why I'm posting this video, because I want to get the conversation started. I want y'all to comment below, tell me why I'm wrong, tell me why you're smarter than I am, and share those justifications down below within the comments. You know, this is inaccurate because of A, B, C, D, E, F, G. You know, I want you to lay it out within the comment section below. But with that being said, I look forward to those comments. I look forward to reading those comments, replying to those comments, ultimately in the form of videos, because this is major stuff. And if you haven't thought about it, it's something that everyone, whether they're involved with the stock market or not, they should at least ponder. And if you did think about it, well, that's probably why you found this video. So welcome aboard, and subscribe and ring that bell to be notified whenever I post another video, because that is awesome you found my channel, and that is awesome that you're interested. And like I said, even more awesome is if you comment down below, because we got to get this conversation churning here. So I don't know. I mean, I'm not trying to paint artificial intelligence AI in negative light, but what I am doing is formally acknowledging that artificial intelligence has already radically changed the stock market, and we're still in the infancy of artificial intelligence. So I mean, this is what we're seeing is in the infancy, during the infancy of artificial intelligence. So imagine how drastically things are going to change within the next few days, weeks, months, years, decades. I mean, it's going to be a completely different playing field. But it's kind of to be expected, because, you know, looking back, if you ever experienced the brick and mortar brokerage days, you know, hand delivering that paper check to a stockbroker, asking the stockbroker to buy and or sell, it was a different thing. And just like the jump from traditional brick and mortar stockbroker to your own online brokerage where you had level 2, L2 quotes, market depth, now AI is taking it to an entirely different level. And unfortunately, for someone that still enjoys trading, but someone that deeply enjoyed trading in the past, especially right after the brick and mortar, I mean, even during the days of the brick and mortar stock brokerage, it was a lot of fun, but it was super fun during the infancy of the online brokerage, because I was in control and I was able to participate in stock forums, and I felt like a detective. But those times, unfortunately, are no more, because there's no way I can outsmart and out-sleuth multiple data centers, artificial intelligence. I mean, I would be playing at an extreme disadvantage at this point in time. So it's shaking up a lot of stuff. But I just wanted to post this video because this is something you're thinking about because you're watching this video, or you just stumbled upon my video. Hey, that's great too. Welcome aboard. Subscribe, ring that bell. But it's interesting. And like I said, I look forward to reading your comments and responding to your comments that you post down below. Thanks for your viewership, and y'all have a good day.